Yeah, very good morning to one and all. Myself, Dr. Vijay Nitmala, Associate Professor in the Department of Management Studies, Adishankara Group of Institutions. And today we are going to discuss about digital certificates in the subject e-business. So this topic is there for fourth semester MBA students in their second unit. The topic is digital certificates that we used to discuss in today's session, right? Yeah, what is a digital signature? Till now, in the previous session, we have discussed what is digital signatures and what are the advantages and disadvantages of digital signatures, right? And not only those, we have also discussed various applications of digital signatures also. And now, the next topic that the other tool is digital certificate. What is a digital certificate? So this digital certificate is an electronic document. So this is an electronic document and it will try that each person or the organization they used to have that is the identity of a public. They will come to know the identity of a public. That is, it contains this digital certificate used to contain digitally signed information, including the identification of a person to be verified, that is the public key, as well as the purpose and scope of the usage of a key, purpose and scope of the usage of a key, as well as the name of the certification authority, the name of the certification authority. So we call this as CA in the sense certification authority. We know that CA means chartered accountancy, that you know, right? But here, when you want to verify this digital certificate, that is authorized by the certification authority, or who we call it as CA. So this digital certificate is an electronic credit card. We know credit card, right? So in the same form, this will be credit in the form of a credit card electronically. A digital certificate is a document, electronic document, which will be in the form of electronic electronic credit card, and this used to try to establish the credential. This used to establish the various credentials when they are doing the business, when they are doing the business or some other transactions that you are doing on a web. So whenever you are when doing the business that you are, whenever you are transferring the documents from one to other, or some other transactions which is done on a web, at that time you use some credentials, right? So at that point of view, use that digital certificates, and in that transactions, you use it is this uh, certification. So when you are using doing business or in some other transactions on a web, this certification authority is being issued. Certificated certification authority is being used. So when once you get a certificate that you are being set, you are the concerned authoritative person to access that document. That type of thing will be issued. Okay. So in this, what will be there in this certification authority? So in digital certificate, you will be contained a name, a serial number, expiry date, as well as a copy of certificate holder's public key also. Certificate holder public, that is, it is used for encryption messages and digital signatures. It is generally used for encryption message as well as the digital signatures. And the digital signature of the certificate issuing authority, and the digital certificate signatures of the certificate issuing authority, so that the recipient can verify that the certificate is real, that the certificate is real. There are some digital certificates which used to conform to a standard, that there is one standard certificate, that X509. Okay, so these digital certificates can be kept in the registers so that the users are authenticated and they can look up for users public. So not only that, when you are using this as a digital certificate, in that they will be using the name of the concerned person, okay, and also the serial number, expiry date, and also they will be in that document, in that digital certificate document, which is electronical, it will be having the certificate holder's public key. Public key will be there, but not the private key. Private key is secret key, right? It will be having only a public. And these are kept in register so that the authenticated user, he can look up for the other users public, the other users public. So this digital certificate is an attachment to an electronic message. So whenever the message is being transferred from the sender to the receiver, along with that, this digital certificate also will move as an attachment. Then it is used for an attachment, used especially for security purpose. This is used especially for security purpose. So the most common use of this digital certificate is to verify that the user sending a message is whoever the person is sending. So the receiver should know that whom that person is sending. So the main purpose of this digital certificate is to verify that the user who is sending the message is who, that one who claims to be, and also to provide the receiver with a means to encode a reply, means that encode a reply. An individual who is wishing to send an encrypted message applies for a digital signature. An individual who is willing to send an encrypted message will apply for a digital certificate from the certificate authority. So if you want a digital certificate, you need to be authorized by the certificate authority. So then the certificate authority issues an encrypted digital certificate. So he uses an encrypted digital certificate, and in that it contains the applicant's public key. Already we know that the applicants with the in the details also the applicant's public key will be issued, and the variety of other identification information will be accessed. Other identification information will be accessed. So this certification authority, it makes it that the own public key is readily available and it can be printed through publicity or perhaps with the help of internet, right? So the recipient, whoever the recipient will be there of an encrypted message, that how you use this certification authority's public key, and they used to decode with help of digital certificate, and this will be attached to the actual message. This will be attached to the actual message, and it verifies it that when once the certificate authority has been issued, he obtains that the sender's public key, and the identification information which is held in the certificate, right? In the certificate also you will be having the information, and that information will be verified by the receiver. So with this information, the recipient can send an encrypted reply. So when once you have been messaged, when once you have been sent a message, along with that message, the digital certificate also will be attached. So when once the receiver sees that message, and he used to decrypt, he used to send an encrypted reply. He used to send an encrypted reply. So the most widely used standard for digital certificates is X509. This is the one important signature, X509. So this is how what we call a digital signature is. Now let us see how this digital signature works. There are several steps when in using this digital signatures. Under this step 1, we have 4 steps. Let us see each step. And step 1, when sending the message by with the help of internet, the public key encryption only is being used. Why? Because the public key encryption is the use of complex mathematical formulas. When you are using the public key encryption, this is having the most complex mathematical formulas to make the data unreadable. So when you are using this digital certificates, this when you are sending the message, it is sent only with the help of public key, but not private. In public key, we will be having both, right? Public and private. So only with the help of public key encryption only the data is being transferred. And under this public key, we will be having two different keys, and one is used for encrypting the data and the other one is used to decrypt the data, right? And in the step 2, someone wanting to send a message would request the recipient's digital certificate. The recipients, so when someone wants to send a message, they would request the recipient's digital certificate, which contains a public key, a trusted directory, and the use of public key to encrypt the message before sending. Before sending. That is, when once the message is encrypted, it can also be decrypted using the intended recipient's private but not public key. So that is done in step 2. And if you move to the next step, that is step 3, the sender can also digitally sign the message using their own private key, that to prove that the message is originated from them itself. That is, if the message has been digitally signed, the recipient would verify that the sender by obtaining the sender's digital signature. By obtaining the sender's digital certificate from a trusted directory, and using this to verify the sender's digital signature. The sender's digital signatures. That is done in step 2. And when you come to the 4th step, it will come to know the effectiveness and reliability of the digital signature. So this is based on the confidence that all the parties here, in the sense both sender as well as the receiver's party to a transaction, have in the structure, policies, procedures which surrounds the public key infrastructure system, PKI system, in the sense public key infrastructure system. So this is done in the step 4. Whatever you use the digital signature, you need to keep one thing in your mind, that a public key infrastructure system PKI. This is a system used for creation. It is a system used for storage, and it is used for distribution of digital certificates. It is used for distribution of digital certificates, which are used to verify that a particular public key belongs to a certain entity. That you have to remember. So it is a procedure that which surrounds that PKI system, right? In this PKI system, that the storage and distribution of digital certificates, and these are being used to verify that the particular public key is belong which to which entity this public key is belongs to, which is belongs to. And in this also we have some advantages of digital certificates and disadvantages of digital certificates, and that we will discuss in the next session. With this, I will conclude regarding what is digital certificate and how this digital certificate is being working on, right? Till now, do you have any queries? If you have any queries, you can ask me, or we'll wind up with this. And in the next session, we'll discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of digital certificates. Okay. Do you have any queries, ma? Okay, then we'll wind up. Thank you, ma. Thank you all.